Hello everyone, how's it going, and welcome to my Kalphite King tanking guide. In this guide I'm going to be showing you how to tank the Kalphite King using a magic setup with a ranged switch. If you do not wish to bring both of these, you can do it with either ranged or magic. Just disregard one of the action bars and replace the crossbows in my inventory, or either wear the crossbows and replace the runes with extra food. But it's definitely most efficient to bring ranged and magic. The reason why I don't mess with melee is it's just easier to not bring melee. However, if you're really pro and you want to do a three-way switch, that is definitely possible. So in my inventory I have 2 overload flasks, 2 prayer renewal flasks, 5 prayer potions. You will not need flasks because the minions drop a ton of prayer potions, so don't worry about that. I also have some unicorn scrolls with a unicorn stallion summoned, a range switch, some runes for fire wave, as well as some cavefish or sharks. You can even bring rock tails if you want to feel like you're awesome. So for your action bars, I would recommend just copy the ones that I have there. Just remember, if you're using dual wield Virtus instead of chaotic staff, replace sonic blast with concentrated blast. And if you're using a royal crossbow instead of dual-wield chaotic or ascension crossbows, replace needle shot with dazing shot. But other than that, just copy the action bars exactly like they are. Also remember to have your defensive abilities open somewhere on the screen, as devotion and anticipation are both going to be used while tanking the Kalphite King. So here's your gear and setup. I bring magic armor because I prefer the magic accuracy boost, as my magic weapon is a lower tier weapon, so it has lower accuracy. Also just make sure to bring the full Slayer helmet if you are on Slayer task. And the boots and gloves that I have, kind of disregard them. You can wear whatever, just your highest tier boots and gloves. It's not super important. The Ring of Vigor is nice. After you use ultimates, you will retain 10% adrenaline, which means you can get up to that threshold faster after using an ultimate, which is very important as being a Kalphite King tank. I also have Supreme Runic Accuracy, which helps a lot with my Chaotic Staff's damage, and a Dragon Rider Amulet, which is just awesome. And I also have my Ascension Bolts, which are very nice to use with the Ascension Crossbow, and I would recommend them. Now we get into the Kalphite King method itself. Before you get out into the Kalphite King's lair, make sure you and another one of your party members, depending on how many members you have, build up adrenaline on the monsters outside so you can use an ultimate as soon as you enter the lair. This is great if you're a maging because you can use the Sunshine ability against the melee phase, which is always a great thing to do. As soon as you enter the lair, make sure your quick prayers are set to protection from melee, the magic version of turmoil, and protect item. Do not use any methods of healing. I do in this video, but do as I say, not as I do. And the reason for that is the Kalphite King will use his instant one-hit attack ability pretty soon into the kill, which means that your heal evoker will heal you to full HP, and methods of healing are not needed. The Kalphite King will typically use a charge ability and then 3 attacks later use his instant one-hit attack. However, we skipped the charge ability because of an inopportune stun timing during the kill. Just keep in mind that's normally how it goes. So the first batch of minions is going to pop out pretty soon here, but here Kalphite King switches into the magic phase. As soon as he does this, click Anticipation on your defensive abilities spellbook, or you can also use Freedom, and then switch to protection from magic prayers. Just make sure you use the anticipation first so you don't get stunned. Here the Kalphite King digs. Just make sure you have escape or surge on your action bar. As soon as you see his shadow underneath you, use it to get away. Don't focus on DPSing the minions if you are in a trio or more, as that is not important. You should be focusing on killing the Kalphite King itself, as that is your job, and the others are meant to kill the minions. So as soon as Kalphite King charges, he will use an orange ball attack and then a stun attack. Usually this can change from time to time. So what I would recommend to use is Anticipation, then use Devotion, and then use Rapid Fire, and you'll be able to get a lot of damage off on him. And his next ball attack will not hit you because you used Devotion. Here's a great time to use the escape ability, as I am surrounded by orange balls. I kind of failed during this part, but you can always use escape or surge to get away from them as long as they are on cooldown. So now he switches into melee phase again. Just remember your quick prayers are protection from melee and the magic turmoil. So you can immediately just double click them and immediately get back to your against melee phase using abilities. Again, Kalphite King uses Slaughter here. Whenever he uses Slaughter, just make sure you don't move and use the Freedom ability to take away the damage. If you do move, the Slaughter ability damage is tripled, so if Freedom is on cooldown, just make sure that whatever you do not move or you'll get killed very fast. Here he uses the instant one-hit attack ability again, which is very nice with a good heal evoker because that means free healing. And here a green shield is around the Kalphite King. Don't attack him for 6 seconds while this is going up. Also make sure don't use multiple stuns in the Kalphite King And also don't run too far away from him or he will heal 24,000 life points, which is very annoying. The second batch of minions is about to spawn at 65,000 LP. Remember, use freedom to escape the stun he uses on you right before the minions and move a few squares away so you don't get minion popped. I did not move far enough away and I got minion popped here. If you get minion popped by several minions, you can die very easily, so always make sure to move a few squares away right after that stun. So here he uses the dig attack again. It's quite easy to escape. He can use this attack on any phase, but he only did it on the magic phase during this kill for some reason. But anyway, just make sure to use surge or escape to get away from him. It's really your preference and it doesn't matter. So now just make sure you DPS the minions themselves while the Kalphite King is shielded as he is here, and help out your teammates with getting them down a little bit quicker. And here he is also using the charge ability, which he can use during any phase as well. So while he is doing that, again, just make sure you DPS the minions and don't waste your time standing around. The orange balls are very easy to evade once you get used to them, but it does take some getting used to. After you have done about 10 or so kills, you should not be getting hit by the orange balls anymore. Again, if you get stunned by the blue balls, just immediately use freedom and then move away because an orange ball is coming right after it. When the Kalphite King has a red shield around him, he will heal the full amount of damage he would have hit against you if you weren't praying. So if you would have hit 2,000 if you weren't praying, he'll heal 2,000. Just disregard this, it's not important. Now we skip to a different kill because Kalphite King did not use range phase during this kill, and I need to show off the range phase. So Kalphite King will stun you at the start of the range phase, just use freedom to escape it, and then he will also use fragmentation shot against you. If you move, fragmentation shot will triple its damage, but it's usually not that big of a deal anyway. So one tip is if you're nearing the end of a kill and Kalphite King is almost dead and all 2 or 3 of your party members need healing, just wait for him to use his one-hit attack so your heal evoker can heal all of you, which is always very handy. And here he uses Incendiary Shot against me. I was ability trapped, so I was not able to get Devotion off in time. However, if you see the Incendiary Shot icon pop up, just use Devotion and you will evade 1 to 1.5k damage, which is always very nice. And here's almost the end of the kill. Just remember, after Kalphite King comes up from his dig, he will always move 1 space, so make sure to use a basic against him and then use a threshold such as Rapid Fire or Asphyxiate, because it will then cancel out your threshold if you don't. So anyway, that's about all for this guide. Hopefully some of this information helped. I will also have a guide on heal VOKIng coming tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. A link will be in the description of this video when it's out, or you can subscribe for more information on that. Feel free to join my friends chat in game for any help, and farewell.